Someone is carrying deep feelings for you right now, and strangely, it began because of something you stopped doing. Before you assume this is just another dramatic opening, stay with these words for a moment. There may be a reason you felt pulled here, why your attention slowed down, why something inside you quietly said, "Read a little further." Someone you know now, or perhaps someone from your past, is struggling with a change they never expected from you. It is not because you chased them or begged them to stay. You did not demand explanations, closure, or promises. Their world shifted because you finally stopped giving them something they believed you would give forever. Welcome to Jungian Horizon. Before we continue, take a quiet moment and stay present with this message. There came a point in your life when you chose yourself. It was not a dramatic goodbye. There was no speech, no argument, no public announcement. From the outside, almost nothing seemed to happen. But within you, everything changed. You realized you could no longer keep sacrificing pieces of yourself simply to make someone else comfortable. Maybe you stopped sending the first message every time. Maybe you grew tired of repeating feelings to someone who never truly listened. Perhaps you stopped staring at your phone, waiting for a reply that arrived too late or never arrived at all. Maybe you refused to keep forgiving the same wound. Or perhaps you simply stopped exhausting yourself trying to prove your worth to someone who could not recognize it. It seemed like a small change, but it was one of the greatest choices your heart ever made. You chose peace. You chose dignity. You chose to protect yourself. And that is precisely what they never imagined you would do. They had become comfortable with your love. They expected your patience, your understanding, your availability, and your willingness to keep giving, even when you had almost nothing left for yourself. Your presence had become so familiar that they treated it as permanent. Then you quietly pulled your energy back. Not to punish them, not because you hated them. You simply began respecting yourself. And suddenly, they felt the emptiness where your devotion once lived. At first, they may have assumed you were busy or going through a temporary phase. They probably believed you would soon return to the old pattern. But time continued moving, and you did not go back. You did not chase them. You did not remind them of everything you had done. You continued living your life, standing in your own space, moving forward. Slowly, reality reached them. You had changed. And only then did they begin noticing how deeply your presence had touched their life. Now, in quiet moments, you cross their mind. When something happens and they instinctively want to tell you, they remember you are no longer there in the same way. They think about your conversations, your laughter, your messages, and the small moments that once seemed ordinary. They remember how you made space for them, even while carrying your own burdens. Those memories now feel heavier because they finally understand what they once took for granted. They may watch from a distance, through social media, mutual connections, or simply through memories they cannot silence. And what they see unsettles them. You are growing without them. You are healing. You are smiling. You are becoming more yourself. Not to prove anything, but because you are finally free to live without abandoning your own heart. They want to contact you. More than once, they may have imagined sending a message, written words in their mind, or even started and erased them. But fear stops them. What if you no longer care? What if they waited too long? What if someone else has entered your life? For the first time, they understand that love cannot be assumed forever. When you were always available, your affection felt guaranteed to them. When you stepped back, they learned that even the deepest love has limits when it is continually ignored. People eventually leave when they are not valued. That realization is awakening something powerful inside them. So yes, someone may be deeply in love with you, deep enough to lose sleep, repeat your name in their thoughts,
and feel regret and hope at the same time. Regret for everything they failed to do, and hope that perhaps there is still a chance. You may believe they forgot you or replaced you easily, but your absence has become impossible for them to ignore.
Yet this message is not telling you to return or chase them. Its purpose is to remind you that choosing yourself was never a failure. It revealed the true value of your love. If they return, it should be because they finally see what you meant. And if they do not, you have still gained something greater: yourself. The moment you stopped proving you were enough, you showed that you already were. Keep choosing your peace. Real love never requires you to disappear inside another person. It begins when you have the courage to stand in your worth, even when you must stand alone. You did not walk away to hurt anyone. You simply stopped abandoning yourself, and somewhere, someone is finally realizing that they fell in love with you just as they began to understand what they were losing. They were convinced your love would always be there. They assumed your care had no ending, and regardless of how they behaved, you would continue choosing them. But when people begin believing your presence is permanent, they can become careless with it. They stop treating it like something valuable. They stop making time for it, nurturing it, and protecting it. They postpone you, overlook you, and convince themselves there will always be another chance tomorrow. Then quietly and without a dramatic ending, everything shifted. You stopped defending your worth. You no longer kept explaining why their actions wounded you. You stopped proving your loyalty and exhausting yourself trying to be noticed. You stopped giving your energy to places where it was never returned. And the silence that followed became impossible for them to escape. The space you left behind grew louder than all the words you once spoke. It followed them into their thoughts and occupied the places where your voice and presence had once been. That is when their feelings began changing. People often do not understand the depth of love while they believe they are completely in control. Sometimes they finally recognize it when they realize they could lose someone forever. When the ground beneath what they assumed was certain suddenly begins to move. Fear awakens, and absence forces the heart to notice what familiarity once hid. Now they revisit the memories, ordinary conversations, small smiles, the way you listened when nobody else seemed to understand, the way you remembered details others overlooked. They think about how you made room for them even on days when you were exhausted, how you tried to repair what was falling apart, and how you held on when walking away would have been easier. Only now do they fully understand those things because you are no longer doing them. They feel the emptiness in quiet nights, crowded days, and unexpected moments when you are still the first person they want to tell something to, until reality reminds them that you are no longer there in the same way. At first, they may try to convince themselves that nothing is wrong. They may say they are fine, that they do not need you, that life will continue as it always does. Yet beneath those thoughts is an emptiness they cannot explain. Gradually, they understand what is missing: you. Not merely your physical presence, but your energy, your warmth, and the way you made them feel understood and accepted. They are beginning to recognize how uncommon that kind of love truly was. When you were always available, your care felt almost invisible to them, like something so constant that they never thought to appreciate it. But once that certainty disappeared, they began to understand its importance. Your absence is teaching them what life feels like without the steady love they once assumed would remain forever. Questions now follow them. Why did they not try harder? Why did they keep delaying? Why did they believe they had unlimited time? Why did they fail to protect something that was so real? And with every question, their emotions grow stronger. They are not only missing you, they are also missing who they became around you, the version of themselves that felt supported, important, and deeply cared for. Meanwhile, you have changed as well. Not because your heart became cold, and not because you suddenly stopped caring, but because you finally learned that you deserved your own love too. You discovered that love should never demand the destruction of your identity. You learned that kindness does not require accepting repeated pain. You learned that silence can sometimes be stronger than endlessly explaining yourself to someone determined not to listen. And you learned that continuing forward can become necessary for your survival. From wherever they are, they can see this transformation. Perhaps through photographs, shared places, mutual connections, or memories that refuse to disappear. They see someone calmer now, stronger now, and more at peace. Part of them may still wish you were waiting, hoping, and leaving the door wide open. But they can also see you growing beyond them, and that realization is difficult to bear. They think about reaching out more often than you realize. They imagine the message, write a few words, then erase them. They question what they could possibly say and whether you would answer. They wonder if too much time has passed. Fear holds them back, while hope keeps pulling them closer, creating a battle inside them that never existed when they believed you would always remain. But you never stepped back to make them miss you. You did not create distance as a game. You were simply exhausted, tired of always giving more, tired of being patient while your own needs were ignored, tired of feeling as though love had to be earned when it should have been offered freely. So you chose yourself, and by doing so, you became someone they could no longer reach so easily. Now your silence communicates everything you once struggled to explain. It tells them you will no longer beg for a place in someone's life. It tells them you finally recognize your own worth. It tells them your heart is not something to be taken lightly. And even without a single word from you, they understand that message. This is not a reason to return and disturb the peace you fought to find. It is not an invitation to explain yourself one more time just because someone finally understands your value. It is simply a reminder of how powerful your presence has always been. Choosing yourself did not destroy love. It revealed who was truly capable of valuing it. If they ever return, it will not be because you chased them or proved your loyalty again. It will be because they finally understand what your absence feels like. And if they never return, you have still gained something greater, yourself. Remember the quiet moment you stopped leaving yourself behind? That pause gave you strength. That silence revealed your value. Somewhere, someone is feeling the weight of that truth and realizing their feelings may have awakened when it is almost too late. Keep moving forward. Choose peace instead of chaos, and self-respect instead of empty promises. Real love never asks you to become smaller, beg for affection, or lose yourself to keep another person close. Real love meets you in your truth and respects the person you are. And by ending the old patterns, you have shown exactly how powerful, strong, and beautiful that truth can be. Even now, this person may be replaying your laughter, your patience, and the way you remained gentle when loving them was never easy. They keep returning to the memories of how you loved without counting what you gave. They remember the way you remained present, even during the moments when leaving would have been far easier. Those memories enter their mind repeatedly, sometimes without any effort on their part. And that is where the pain begins. Because they failed to recognize your value, while you were still reaching toward them. They did not fully understand what you meant until your energies stopped chasing the connection, until you were no longer the one leaning closer, trying to repair the distance between you. Only then did the truth begin to reach them. They feel your absence, even if they never admit it. They may not have contacted you. They may appear completely fine around other people. They may pretend to be busy, unaffected, or perfectly happy. Yet beneath that surface, something is missing. You were never just another person who enjoyed their company. You were someone who genuinely noticed them. You paid attention to the smallest details, understood changes in their mood, and often heard what they were trying to communicate without speaking. When someone loses the person who truly sees them, they do not only miss the relationship itself, they miss the version of themselves that existed inside that love. They miss feeling important. They miss feeling understood. They miss feeling safe. Their life continues on the outside. Days pass, conversations happen, and people still laugh around them. But inwardly, something feels heavier and strangely quiet. It is the empty place where your care once lived, where your voice once brought comfort. They may distract themselves or fill every hour with activity, telling themselves that it no longer matters. But when everything becomes still and there is nothing left to hide behind, your absence speaks louder than any conversation ever could. They remember how patiently you listened, how you gave them time even when you were exhausted, and how you showed up while carrying struggles of your own. Sometimes you believed in them more strongly than they believed in themselves. Now they understand how rare that was, because not everyone knows how to love with that kind of presence. What hurts them most is realizing that they may have lost something they cannot easily replace. Yet you did something remarkable. You did not allow the disappointment to turn you cruel. You did not harden yourself, seek revenge, create jealousy, or step away simply to make them suffer. You kept your heart soft, but you stopped leaving it exposed to repeated pain. You created distance with dignity. You chose calm over conflict and yourself over a place where you were never fully appreciated. That kind of self-respect carries its own quiet power. It says, without needing to announce anything, I know who I am, even if you failed to understand me. I know my worth, even if you stopped seeing it. I know what I deserve, even if you could not give it to me. And when you finally reached that place within yourself, it shook them, because they never expected you to be the one who stepped back. They assumed you would remain kind, waiting, hopeful, and endlessly patient. They believed your love had no limits. But when you showed them that it was possible to love deeply and still walk away gracefully, their entire view of you changed. Suddenly, you were no longer simply the person who cared the most. You became the person they could actually lose. Now they wonder about your life. They question what you are doing, whether you still remember them, whether you have moved on, or whether someone else is now giving you a reason to smile. These thoughts arrive unexpectedly, in the middle of ordinary days, late at night, or whenever something brings you back into their memory. Regret and longing become tangled together. Regret for everything they failed to do, and longing for one more opportunity. They may open a message, stare at the screen, write something, and erase it again because they no longer know whether they still belong in your life. Their fear is that they waited until the door closed, and that fear can keep them silent even when their heart is desperately searching for an answer. Meanwhile, you are discovering a different way to live. You are learning that you do not have to beg to be noticed, repeatedly explain why you are hurting, or chase someone who refuses to meet you halfway. You are learning to breathe more freely, smile without pretending, and wake up without carrying the same weight in your heart. Some days may still be difficult, but you understand why you stepped back. You no longer want to lose yourself simply to keep another person close. And from a distance, that is what they can see now. They may not understand every painful moment you survived, but they can see the strength that came afterward. They see you becoming calmer, standing stronger, and carrying a new light that comes from choosing your own peace. That is when they begin to understand something painful. You did not lose by walking away, you grew. Perhaps they lost the opportunity to grow beside you. You never intended to create this effect. You were not trying to teach them a lesson or transform their life. You were simply trying to protect your heart and stop abandoning yourself. But choosing yourself can become a mirror for others. It shows them what they failed to appreciate and what they assumed would always remain. Somewhere right now, someone may be thinking about you far more than you realize. They may be carrying the weight of your absence and understanding that your love was never ordinary. Even if they never confess it, never send a message, and continue pretending they are fine, their heart knows what they lost. Let that remind you who you are. You were never easy to forget or replace. You were someone who cared sincerely, saw deeply, and loved honestly. When you finally stepped back with dignity, your value did not become smaller, it became impossible to ignore. Keep protecting that self-respect. Choose peace instead of pain, and trust that what truly belongs in your life will meet you where you stand, rather than demand that you beg for it. Love that costs you your dignity is not the love you deserve. Real love sees you, chooses you, respects you, and never requires you to chase it. Somewhere, a heart is learning that lesson because of you. Whether they return or remain silent, you have already done something powerful. You chose yourself, and in that choice, you revealed just how rare your love has always been. Now, consider what may be happening inside their mind. In their quietest moments, they question everything. They ask themselves, why did I not choose them when I had the chance? Why did I assume they would wait forever? Why does this empty space feel so real now that they are gone? And as those questions continue, they find themselves reaching for their phone, scrolling through it, searching for something that might bring you back into their world. They stop when they see your name. For a moment, they wonder where you are, what your life looks like now, and whether you still think about them. They hesitate before typing because sending that message would force them to confront something they avoided for a long time. It would mean admitting that your love was genuine and that they simply were not prepared to receive what you were offering. But this is the part you need to understand clearly. Someone having powerful feelings for you does not automatically mean they have learned how to love you well. Love without emotional maturity can still hesitate when a real choice must be made. Love without healing can still fear closeness and commitment. Love without personal growth can keep postponing, waiting for the perfect moment instead of becoming capable of building the relationship. That is why this message is not asking you to rush back. It is simply helping you understand why they are feeling your absence so deeply. You awakened something within them. By being yourself, you showed them what love could look like without pressure. You gave them consistency without trying to control them. You created emotional safety without playing games or using manipulation. You offered all of this naturally. And now, without you sending a message or making any effort at all, they are left to experience the full weight of life without your presence. Sometimes silence carries more truth than any argument. It can become heavier than a goodbye, a long explanation, or every difficult conversation you ever had. Because silence leaves people alone with the reality that noise once allowed them to avoid.
But there is an important warning here. If you immediately return, break the distance too quickly, or rush in to rescue them from the feelings they are finally experiencing, you may interrupt the very growth this space is creating. Distance can teach lessons that love, patience, and endless explanations were unable to teach. You already tried through your care, you tried through your understanding, you tried by staying. Now your absence is communicating something in a way that your words never could. This is not about punishing them or taking satisfaction in their pain. It is about truth and alignment. Someone who is truly right for you should not need to lose you before recognizing your value. The right person chooses you while you are still present, while you are still offering your heart, while there is still an opportunity to build something together.
They do not wait until your absence becomes unbearable to understand what you meant. So why might this message feel meaningful to you now? Because a gentle heart can sometimes confuse love with responsibility. You may sense their regret. You may feel their sadness from far away. Thoughts of them may appear unexpectedly, or perhaps they even enter your dreams. But feeling that connection does not necessarily mean you are meant to return. It can simply mean that what you shared was real. And yes, some connections are deeply real without being meant to last forever. Certain bonds arrive to teach us, transform us, and help us grow before their purpose is complete. Their importance does not always mean they are meant to continue. If they ever return, allow them to return changed. Not merely because they miss you, feel lonely, or are frightened of losing you. Let them return with genuine readiness, ready to choose you openly, ready to show up consistently without hiding behind excuses, ready to love without endless hesitation, ready to demonstrate their feelings through action rather than beautiful words alone. Anything less may simply be the old pattern appearing in a different form, and you already know how that story ends. And if they never return, hold this truth close. You were never difficult to love. You were never too much, and you were never wrong for wanting honesty, consistency, and care. They may simply have lacked the maturity, healing, or courage required to meet you where you stood. Someone whose path truly aligns with your growth, depth, and timing will recognize your value without leaving you trapped in confusion. There will not be endless waiting, mixed signals, uncertainty, or a relationship that is always almost becoming something real. There will be clarity. There will be a conscious choice. There will be love that actually arrives and stays present. So let this be the message you remember. Their feelings did not become powerful because you chased harder. Sometimes the shift happened because you finally stopped chasing. You remembered yourself. You remembered your worth and the value you carry. You remembered that love should never demand the sacrifice of your peace. And there is strength in that realization. A quiet strength that does not need to shout. A calm strength that does not need to prove itself. And a powerful strength that comes from finally choosing yourself.